Hello, all of you. Here we come up with the third session of the series of doubt clearing session, right? Small doubts, I'm clearing it by me making a 1 minute reel, which I have already done it for losses related to the house property, how you set off in the old regime and new regime. Still, I feel according to doubts, there's a lot of confusion on what to apply in the old regime and new. For that, 1 15 minutes video I have made, okay, in old regime you have to take, in new regime that's 115 BAC. Please watch that. Right now, this video, if you watch till end, definitely you will thank me at the end, because I'm taking up the pumping heart of the costing, that is the overheads, the semi-variable overhead, how to segregate. Before that, something more, I'm going to write it and share it over here. Just see if it is clear or not. Okay. You are in whatever chapter, this is going to clear your doubt for your cost sheet. This knowledge, what I'm clearing your doubt, you are going to use it for your cost sheet. You are going to use it for job cost sheet. You will use it in overhead chapter. You will use it in budgeting. And today only, which one we did? Yeah, standard costing. So everywhere you should know how to segregate the semi-variable overhead. Okay, right. Before that, one more common doubt asked is, cost plus profit is the selling price, or if it is operating costing or service costing, takings and all. So sometimes they give you profit is 20% on cost. I know it's very simple for some of you, like not even simple, it's silly. But these are the points where students are doing mistakes. So I wanted to revise it. And doubt clearing is for all those who are confused for semi-variable overhead. So ye dekho pehle. If they say profit is 20% on cost, let your cost be 100, profit be 20%, and let your selling price be 120. This will help you to complete the cost sheet properly. Now, suppose if the profit is 20% on sales or final takings or hotel ka price and all, on whatever is percentage, take it as 100. This time profit is 20% on sales. Let's take sales as 100. 20 as profit and cost as 80. Is this clear to you? If you don't know what is 1/4 and 1/5 and all, okay, you are allowed to use calculator. So do 20 by 100 instead of 1/5. It's okay. But if it is on cost, take cost as 120, 120. If it is on sales, take sales as 100, profit as 20% on sales, then cost will be 80. Now coming to the concept, many times in the operating costing, in budgeting, you are asked to segregate the semi-variable overhead. For this, first base level knowledge should be clear to you. Fixed overhead is constant in total. Whether you operate at 65%, 85%, 100% in budgeting, in operating costing, fixed overhead is constant in total. Variable overhead is constant per unit. Per unit variable overhead is fixed. The best beautiful way we use this is in marginal costing. Ma'am, last 5 minutes you have taken the name of 7-8 chapters. Yeah. So use it like a brahmastra. Matlab sab jagah you can fit in this knowledge correctly. And only for this part your budgeting or operating costing answer should not go wrong. Once again, I want to repeat, your fixed overhead is constant in total. Your variable overhead is constant up to a limit. Then what is semi-variable overhead? Semi-variable overhead is like your postpaid mobile phone bill. Up to a limit, you talk or you don't talk. Minimum 400 rupees per month bill is coming. Depending on above that, if you have made international calls, this, that, more data usage, it will be charged. Electricity bill. Oh, whole month I was not in Hyderabad. Or ye itna bill kaise? To minimum bill will come. So semi-variable overhead is having an element of fixed overhead, which is constant, and variable overhead. So can we segregate the semi-variable overhead into fixed and variable so that we can use it for overhead, for cost sheet, for budgeting everywhere, right? There are different methods prescribed in your material. But the one which is most important, I want to start. See, 5 methods are there. This is there in the first chapter, which will help you to segregate semi-variable overhead into fixed and variable. Okay, right. So first method I want to check is high-low point method. I know graphical and other are there, but pehle ye karenge. High-low point method. Here number of units is missing, but they have given at 1,40,000 sales. What's your total value of the overhead? 72,000. This is total semi-variable overhead. At 80,000, what's your semi-variable overhead? 60. Now, can I say one thing? Change in the semi-variable overhead is only because of the variable overhead, variable element. See, in semi-variable overhead, whether you sell 140 or 80, your fixed cost is constant. So, change in semi-variable overhead is only because of the variable element. So what is the variable cost as a percentage of sales? Ma'am, why is a percentage? Because units is missing. Change in the semi-variable overhead is 12,000 when sales is changing by 60,000 into 100. So 12,000, you can take a screenshot, and if you have opted from the app for this compiler, colored compiler, you'll get it. 20%. आपको बात समझ में आ रही है? So your variable cost percentage is change in the cost because of change in sales, and that's 20%. So 20% of your sales is variable cost. Sales का 20%. 60,000 में 12,000, 20%. So 140 में 28,000 is variable cost. What is your total semi-variable overhead? 72. What is variable? 28. So what will be fixed? 44,000. Same way, in 80,000 it's 20%, 16,000. But your total semi-variable overhead is 60,000, 44,000. Ma'am, next month if I decide to make my sales 2 lakh, can you help me calculate semi-variable overhead? Yeah, ये तो constant होगा आपका, जो fixed cost है वो तो constant होगा, yeah, और variable cost will be 2 lakh sales का 20%, that's 80,000. Sales का 20% is the variable cost, 80,000. And 44,000 fixed part is the fixed. Total is 1,24,000. 1,24,000. Clear to all of you? Easy? This is called as high-low method. Ma'am, instead of percentage, if they give you units, you can use the level of activity. Same. In January, 100 units were produced. Tab semi-variable overhead was 260. February, 140. Semi-variable overhead is 600. Now, change in semi-variable overhead due to change in the production is only because of the variable element. So, what's variable cost per unit? Change in the overhead, that's the formula. Change in overhead 40 divide by change in units 40. Here it's coming 1. So variable cost is 1 per unit, 100. Total semi-variable overhead is 260. So fixed overhead will be 160. In 140, variable overhead will be 140. Total कितना है? 300. तो fixed cost कितना हो गया? 160. I know it's easy, but then why you all are doing the mistake while I correct your booster exam papers for operating costing for overhead? So I thought it's very much necessary to revise. If you feel this is going to be helpful across all the chapters in costing, do share it with others so that this video will get a good boost. And I really want you to thank you. Not because आपके thank you के लिए मैं पढ़ा रही हूँ, but when I say thank you because you're trusting and watching till end, and you say thank you, ma'am, we have followed, that energy level goes at a very higher level. Is this clear to all of you? Right? Okay. So now, March. Just assume that in March 180 units are sold. What will be the semi-variable overhead for 180 units? ये तो 160 fixed होगा. 180 का 180 per minute. So 180 plus 160, that will be 340. This is how you segregate semi-variable overhead. I am always saying in semi-variable overhead, the change in the semi-variable overhead is only because of the variable element. So change in overhead by change in units. That is the formula. Okay, right. There's one more method called as equation method you can use, where y represents your total cost, m represents your variable cost per unit multiplied by output, what we did now, same semi-variable overhead, and c represents your fixed cost. So same thing, you can find it in equation, substitute and do it. Right. So volume is 150 labor hours. Semi-variable overhead is given to you. And here 200. So you make equation 1 and 2 and then substitute. You will get the values and the percentage. Clear to all of you? So even like least square can be used. I'm not doing it now, but this is very simple. You just substitute. You want me to do? Huh? Y. आपका Y मुझे नहीं मालूम. But we know what is M. M is variable cost per unit, which I don't know. But at how many labor hours? 150 labor hours. And C is the fixed cost. Right? Okay. And yeah, Y we know. Total semi-variable overhead is 1200. Now at 1275 M into labor hours. Labor hours are how many? 200. C, I don't know. Now, can you do this minus? So this will become 75. This will to get cancelled and this is 50M. So M is coming to 75 divided by 50. That is 1.5 per hour is M. Now substitute in the equation. 1200 plus 1 is equal to 1.5 और मैं equation 1 में डाल रही हूँ. Into 150 plus C. So you will get C. 150 into 1.5, 225 minus 1200. So C is coming to 975. आ गया आपका आंसर. And once you know C, what is C? Fixed cost. What is 1.5 variable cost per unit या per hour? Then you can use it and find more. Yeah, abhi to this is 150 hours and 200. If I ask you what will be the situation at 500 hours? So 500 hours into 1.5. This will be the variable part. 750. And fixed. आपका fixed है 975. 1725. Abhi 1200, 1275 be 1725. Right? Yeah. Other methods are also there. Diagram we have already done and over there also fixed in the break-even point. वहाँ पे fixed cost is constant. Total cost will start here. Variable cost will start here. Okay. And analytical method is like survey method. I think if I explain everything, it will be juggling. तो आप best याद रखो कि the change in the semi-variable overhead cost is because of the variable element. It could be output, it could be percentage. In operating costing, sometimes it is liters, kgs, kilometers. But if you practice this in writing, what I explained in last 10 minutes, practice it in writing. January, February is done. March, Dipti ma'am is done. Chalo, April, May, if you want to predict, can you use it? Yeah. Then you have done a wonderful job for overhead, for operating costing, for budgeting, for job. Anywhere semi-variable overhead is asked, you can do it. Like this, if you want to study conceptually, download Concept Classes app and check up the costing practice batch videos. Watch 14 live one-shot revision videos recorded for all of you. Make the maximum use of this knowledge and share it with your friends. And thank you for subscribing. So like this, whenever we are live for the doubt clearing, you will get a notification. All the best, dear students. Study super well. If you need any help, any mentoring, message me.